The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us here today. We are so happy about that, and we put together a super show once again for you with special people all the way around. So, as I remind you every week, I will do so once again, and that is to go to stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio, where you can see and hear not just this show, but all the shows with super camera angles, guests, all the great stuff going on right here in the studio. So let's get down to business right now as we welcome Taylor Sarton. She is with, how about this name? A beautiful name. Her company is called Home Sweet Home. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Hi.
And first of all, the name Home Sweet Home, right now people are not going to be able to forget that, and it puts us all around Houston and beyond in a pretty good mood, I'm just saying.
Absolutely does. I love the name. Definitely is a huge reason that I gravitated towards the company in the beginning. I mean, it is very hard to forget.
Indeed it is. So let's tell people a little bit about the company, Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home started back in 2019. We're a newer brokerage. There's about 35 women who all empower each other. We all help each other. Each of us does every aspect of real estate: buying, leasing, selling, and investing. So it's wonderful.
Covering so many real estate bases all at once, every day on a regular basis, right?
Absolutely.
So one of the things, as we talked before we began the recording, and that is that in real estate, certainly you're helping buyers and sellers.
Of course.
But one of the things you're doing, it seems like, as a niche, is the leasing market. Tell us a little bit about the leasing market right now and the areas that you're the most in geographically.
Absolutely. So the leasing market right now is pretty hot. As we all know, there's been an inflation or rise in interest rates, and that's affected the market a lot, especially for people who are moving here from other states. They might not know the area. You know, there's a lot of other factors that come into the leasing market that I've been seeing myself. So I see probably about 10 leases a month right now in the areas of Conroe and the Woodlands mainly.
Makes it even more interesting to me. So let's tell people the Woodlands from a leasing standpoint. So people, let's say I came to you and I said, Taylor, I want to lease a home, well, either one, Conroe or the Woodlands, and I want to spend $2,000 a month. What kind of selection am I going to have? Good or slim? What?
Well, that's two very different markets. The Woodlands, with $2,000, you're probably going to get a really nice townhome, maybe 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom with a very small yard. You're going to Conroe with $2,000, and you could probably get a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home.
Dramatic difference,
100%.
And in fact, now that you mention townhomes in the Woodlands, I remember being there at a restaurant a ways back, and there were actually some really nice townhomes that were near restaurants and things to do.
The ones on the waterway, were you by like Goose's Acre?
I do not know where I was. That's why it's been so long. But I do know when I was there, I looked at those townhomes and said, if I lived here, there's things to do.
Yes, there absolutely are. Those townhomes actually on the waterway lease for about $4,000 a month, 4 to 6, depending on how many bedrooms you're going to get. But they're about 4+, 5+ townhomes.
Sounds like fun.
I love those townhomes.
So as far as, again, leasing to people, let's take the traditional home, so to speak. Let's go back to Conroe just for a minute. And someone is leasing a home in Conroe. So for $2,000, they're getting at least, 2,500 square feet, maybe?
Maybe, probably a little less, maybe like 2,300 to 22. But you're getting a decent-sized yard at least, and that's really hard to get in the Woodlands, honestly, with a budget anything lower than $2,000.
And how are people finding you where you're able to help them with the leases?
Social media. I have a pretty big online presence for social media. I will record everything I do, every transaction I am in. I will take you step by step through it all. And I honestly get leases done pretty quickly. So I touch on that a lot on Facebook. And people find me through Facebook groups.
Very interesting. So also, now what about, do you use Instagram as well?
I do. I love Instagram. That's a harder platform to get bigger on just because the way that they push out content is a lot different than Facebook. It's a lot of studies into that. But Instagram is definitely more personable than I feel like Facebook is for me. I can get on my stories and share my day-to-day life.
Now, you make videos as well?
I do.
Now, to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I just use Facebook here for the show and putting videos on of the segments for you and all our guests, and I do it because it can take at least 50 minutes or even 10 minutes, which is our typical video, but I understand Instagram has more of a time constraint on it.
They do.
What's the minutes there? The maximum?
10 minutes, I think, is the current max. Yeah.
Maybe I'll switch over. We could do that.
They have gotten larger times on the platform, but the problem a lot of people are still seeing is most of your videos have to be portraits, so up and down rather than landscape, and Facebook tends a lot to landscape videos. So
I like the landscape myself a little bit better. But also saying that, you're saying it's bringing you results.
it is.
And again, Instagram is getting more results than Facebook. Is that true or no?
Crazy
Or
enough,
equal?
my TikTok gets the most.
All right, let's go TikTok.
TikTok is the easiest platform for anybody to reach people. But how I get people through TikTok is by posting a house, and their kid is going to see it because I used a sound that all these kids are using all the time.
You use a sound.
I'll use a sound on the background of a video of a house that I have for lease, and I'll post it, and I'll tell people, here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, Conroe, Texas, under $2,000 a month. Contact me for a private viewing. Their kids will see it. They'll be like, Dad, look how cool this house is. They'll be like, wait, who posted that? Taylor Sarton, Realtor. Then they'll pick up the phone and they'll call me.
In fact, right now, I think that the name Taylor by itself has even more power than before. Listen,
Right?
You've got the name Taylor, number one.
Right.
I'm not going to say the other person's name. That's named Taylor. Don't need to. But your name is Taylor. Home sweet home. I think you got two very powerful things going for you right there, other than your intelligence and personality. Just saying.
Thank you.
So in the meantime, leasing, you're doing 10 a month about.
Yeah, that's
At
been the
this
past
point.
couple months.
And these are and out of those 10, let's just say, take as an example, out of those 10, how many found you and how many did you find? Where you went out and found them, or they all came to you?
They all came to me. A couple of them were in-office referrals just because a lot of the busier agents in my office don't have the time to handle a lease. And a lot of the times people don't realize how much you have to tend to a tenant, but there's a lot that goes into getting a lease finalized and someone moved into the property. And sometimes agents don't have time for that, and they will send them off to me and I will work them.
Well, it almost seems to me that in the real estate transaction, first of all, the real estate as far as selling, buying a home, there's a lot right there. That's
Very
a lot
tedious.
of work, a lot of detail, very tedious. And then you're saying the leasing, you think is that equal or even more exhaustive?
Oh my gosh, it's even more exhaustive.
Really?
But I do think that tenants, they tend to want a lot of things that might not be available at that time, and it's hard, and so you don't want to break their hearts. You're going to spend extra amounts of time trying to find this unicorn in a sense.
Which one is quicker? I'm thinking the leasing. It's easier to lease to somebody in terms of the time frame from the time they look at the property.
100%.
100%.
Majority of the time, the tenant will come to you with a short time frame. They're going to come to you and they need a place in 2 to 3 weeks.
And then what about inventory? Are there enough places to lease right now for someone that's listening out there and they say, hey, maybe I ought to move to Conroe or somewhere else up there that you're serving?
That's hard to say because yes and no. I feel like there is enough because they're always coming in and out. They're always going off the market and coming right back on. You're going to have one that my client loved so much and someone leased it out, but the next week, the same property from the same management company will probably be on the market just around the corner. If that makes sense. So they're always interchanging.
Now, as I'm thinking about it, and of course we talk about it on this show and people talk about it everywhere else that's in the real estate world is that the interest rates are higher now, at least higher than they were used to a couple years ago. As far as leasing, we're not even thinking about interest rates, are we?
No.
So that's an advantage, I would say.
No,
Or
I
no?
mean, it definitely is an advantage. They're not thinking about it. But you definitely want to educate your clients and let them know that sometimes tenants will want to pay a lot more money for a property and waste a lot more money over a 12-month lease than they should or they need to. So you've really got to keep them on that 30% rule.
I would think the ideal thing about leasing is that, especially if I've moved from another place and I didn't know Houston, it gives me the opportunity to get a feel for it. Do you run into that a lot?
A lot. I run into a lot of people moving here from Georgia specifically for jobs, and they don't know where they want to live. So they will lease in an area that they either know a friend, family member, or if somebody's told them to go to that area.
Georgia. Why are they coming from Georgia? That is so great to hear that people are coming from the east versus the west. Tell us a quick word on Georgia. Why?
That's funny.
Because I love Georgia. I used to go there all the time.
It's so weird because every single client I've gotten out of Georgia has been an attorney, and they're coming for work. They're coming here for jobs. They're all working through the state, though. So, I mean, it's like ICE attorneys and...
So there's an influx of attorneys.
Yeah.
That's one thing. You've heard it first right on the show, everybody. I did not know that. And they're from Georgia.
They're all coming over this way.
Now, also earlier, before we started, you said you sing. Do you know the song Georgia, by the way? No. There is a famous song. Maybe next time when you come back. Taylor, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know about what you're doing?
You can feel free to call me, text me anytime. My phone number is 713-302-9764. I absolutely love working with anybody and everybody, so I hope to hear from you soon.
So you can call Taylor. Again, Taylor, the number is
713-302-9764.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Bill.
Let's welcome Dina Fisk. Her company is called Texas United Realty. Dina, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to see you. Let's tell people, first of all, you are a real estate professional for many years, serving buyers and sellers, and the company is Texas United Realty. Let's tell them about the company.
Well, Texas United Realty started in 2017 and in 2022 merged with United Realty, which brought us from 700 agents to 21,000, and we're international. And that gives us as realtors the advantage for if we get a client that we're going to sell their house and they need to move to wherever, we can refer them to somebody that we know will do a good job for them.
That's awesome. So you have a reach to help your buyers and sellers.
Absolutely.
So right here in Houston, as far as where you're primarily located, give us an idea of where you are based out of, let's say.
Well, they have a main office off of Briar Park, but all the agents are within, do it from home. And I'm in the Katy area, but I work anywhere in and around the Houston area because I'm a passionate patriot, and I work with veterans. So where do they need to be is what I'm interested in helping them with.
And we're fortunate veterans are all over, not just the Houston area, but the United States. And if anyone is listening, you're a veteran serving right now or have served, a first responder listening, we appreciate you so much, and we appreciate you listening, and we certainly mostly appreciate your service to our city, our country, and our nation. So, Dina, let's tell people how you're helping the veterans.
Well, I'm on the board for the Work Life Institute, which is a nonprofit that assists veterans in translating from the military life to civilian life through education. The course that my team teaches is Real Estate for Veterans. And the reason is because since 2020, their benefits have increased every year. But our veterans do not understand what their real estate benefits are.
So you're saying their real estate benefits are expanding every year?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
2020, it was 540,000 somewhere around that. Today it's increased to 726,000, and in January it'll increase again. And what this benefit, they can buy if they could qualify for $1 million home, they can buy $1 million home. But if they want to use with no down payment, which the VA loan has no down payment, why not use somebody else's money? The government insures it. The government insures it for 25% of the loan. And so our veterans can get a home, go in, and if it's within the $726,000, they don't have to pay any upfront money. They don't have to come down with a down payment.
As far as, and I may know the answer to this, but I'll let you say it, and that is, do the veterans know that they have all these benefits for the most part?
Absolutely not.
That's a big no, right?
Yes, because in our seminar we go over. I have a mortgage lender that is a veteran, and all the people that work for him are veterans. I have the head of the Southeast Veterans Land Board, and a lot of veterans don't know if they're a Texas veteran, they have benefits that nobody else in the United States has.
Okay, so let's emphasize that. You're saying that if you're a Texas veteran, you have real estate benefits that other parts of the country don't have, or
Absolutely.
just in general their benefits?
No, they have benefits from the state of Texas. The VA benefits are federal. The Veterans Land Board here in Texas, the Texas Veterans Land Board, is for Texas veterans, and they offer up to, if somebody wants to buy land, okay, they will assist them and help them buy up to $150,000 for an acre. It has to be at least an acre, but they can do more. They also, the Veterans Land Board, if you buy a home and you want to remodel inside, a veteran can get up to $50,000 for remodeling inside from the Veterans Land Board.
So it sounds to me like the benefits are increasing.
Absolutely.
There's numerous benefits.
Numerous.
And to keep it simple, if I'm a veteran listening out there right now, instead of trying to grapple all these things, it sounds to me like the best word is to find an agent like you, Dina Fisk, that knows these benefits, that you could walk them through and tell them about things that they may not know about.
Well,
that can
the
help
other
them
thing
and their
is
their
that
families.
our next seminar is at the Work Life Institute at 1900 St. James Place in Suite 880 on December 13th. It's the second Wednesday every other month. And they can come. It's free, and we'll give them all the information they need. Something else that I give in the packet when they come to the seminar is a list of resources. So if you have a veteran that is about to lose their home, you have a veteran that is homeless, I have resources that I'm more than happy to give out, so that these veterans can be assisted.
So again, let's tell people the name of the organization that is helping.
Work Life Institute.
And you are on the board there.
Yes, I am.
How long have you been there?
I've been on the board about a year, and I started working with them in 2020.
Give us an idea, as in your real estate career through 2 decades plus. So as you've navigated your way from the beginning, how did you focus on this niche with the veterans?
Well, it's real funny. In 2020, I was offered this class. We do a lot of classes.
We being all realtors.
All
right.
realtors.
Yeah,
and I was offered an opportunity to take a class on getting certified with real estate benefits for veterans. Well, I was so excited, I went to a networking group and I said, I just got this certification. Someone came up and said, would you like to teach a seminar? And I went down and met with Dr. Dale. And there had been a veteran that had been taken advantage of, lied to, and cheated out of $450,000 in a real estate venture. And I said, I'm happy. I will come and I'll put together a team and we'll do a seminar.
So that must be very satisfying work. in general, just realtors helping other people find, buy, and sell homes. That in itself is so satisfying. And on that note, too, you're not just working with veterans. If if I wanted to say, hey, Dina, help me out, you're helping everybody.
After all these years, I do get referrals and work with anyone. If they want to buy, lease, sell, invest, I'm your girl. And there are some programs there where our veterans, I've been helping them get duplexes, and they have to live in one side for a year and lease the other side. After a year, they can lease both sides and go to the next property so they can accumulate wealth with their benefits.
Well, I think one of the big challenges just in any kind of governmental program is knowing what you have, navigating through. And I'm thinking about anything that's the government, the tax code, Social Security, all these things. While there are so many benefits, it's kind of tricky to navigate. That's why I think you need to work with professionals that are zeroed in on that and know the ins and outs.
And the Work Life Institute has so many different programs. Our veterans came back and wanted to start their own businesses, and so they put together an entrepreneurial program which brings professionals in to teach them how to set it up, how to budget, how to do everything that you need to start a successful business.
Well, give us an idea. Here we are at the end of the year, Dina. It's upon us. We're going to be 2024 very soon. What's your outlook as you're helping people buy and sell, and as you look ahead to 2024? What's your feeling? I know no one knows what's going to happen, but what are you feeling out there?
Right now, they say these interest rates are up. Now, I was around when they were 17 to 21% interest, so we're still in single digit. So it doesn't really upset me very much. The other thing is that after the first of the year, I believe that interest rates are going to go down. It has a trend towards that. Now, when they go down, we're going to go back into a bidding war, which is not good for our buyers. So if somebody's interested in buying a house, and this is the time to do it, because once you buy a house, interest rates go down, you can refinance. That is just a part of it. And there's a lot of different programs right now that are out there to help people.
Now, I think you just said buy now.
I did.
There you go. Buy now. Dina, before we close this segment, what else you want people to know?
That I'm here to assist, whether you need to know something about buying real estate, selling it, investing, but also in anything dealing with veterans. You can call me at 832-343-0758, and I will assist you in any way that I can. 832-343-0758.
Dina, thanks for being with us. And once again, if you're a veteran listening, thank you for your service. We appreciate you so much. Dina, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827, stewartinsurance.com. That's stewartinsurance.com, or call 866-798-2827.
As we continue, let's talk to Carolyn Swan. The company is Compass. Carolyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Happy to be here.
Well, we're glad that you're here. Also, and let's tell people, Compass, it was a few weeks ago, I think we had someone from Compass on, but let's tell people a little bit about the company, Compass.
So Compass's big thing is their technology. They are years ahead of other real estate brokerages. And the technology helps us as realtors to keep in touch with our clients, market new clients, and educate our clients on what is going on in the real estate market. So that's the big reason I joined Compass, is just to grow.
And you're based out of the Woodlands, right?
I'm based out the Woodlands. I've lived there since 2002, so I grew up there.
And does Compass have an office up there?
Yes, they do. They have an office in Hughes Landing. It's gorgeous, overlooking Lake Woodlands.
I love that area up there. And as one of the things I just read, I'm a big fan of the Ritz-Carlton, and apparently they're going to be having some Ritz-Carlton residences that are going to be built. And, oh, yeah, they're very expensive, but it's something to look forward to if you can afford it.
Very expensive. I think they're going to be starting out at around $2 million.
Yeah.
And then they'll have condos, townhouses. I think the townhouses are going to start out maybe at $5 million.
Lots of
It's gonna be
luxury.
great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're slowly releasing information.
Well,
So-
many years ago, I stayed at one of the Ritz-Carlton, one of the residences in the Dallas location, which was their first place here in Texas. But in the meantime, let's tell people, as far as the marketplace up there right now, everybody loves the Woodlands. Let's tell people what your feel is right now in terms of activity. What's happening up there?
So we are unfortunately lacking inventory in the Woodlands.
Yeah, but they've been saying that for so long.
But whenever a house comes on, it's moving quick. So there's definitely, even though the interest rates are up at 8%, I feel like it doesn't affect the Woodlands a whole lot because there's a lot of cash buyers up there. So we're moving.
So the key now, I'm not a genius, Carolyn, but if I'm a realtor, I'm going to want to get some listings.
Yes.
Because they're going to go quick, right?
Listings are key. They're going to move quick. So buyers are the hard ones right now just because there's lack of options.
So, and also, correct me if I'm wrong, in the Woodlands, there's less new builds up there or not?
So in the Woodlands, there's not really any new construction. You have to go on the outskirts, so Creekside or up towards Conroe, and then east of 45 along the Grand Parkway. There's a lot of new construction, and those are honestly great to buy right now because they offer a lot of incentives. So they're offering closing costs, they're offering lower interest rates, which are helping people out.
So the builders are giving some incentives versus a couple years ago, not so much.
Not so much, but yeah, they're trying to move their inventory.
So as you look ahead here from the end of this year and we're looking to 2024, Carolyn, what are you seeing ahead and how are you preparing for next year?
So right now I'm just really working on my marketing, and I'm just trying to educate my buyers that I have or sellers that are thinking of selling what's going to happen. I think come next year rates will come down, but they're not going to come down to the 2, 3s, or 4s like they did a few years ago. If they could drop to the 6s, I think that would be a great spot for us to be in. But historically, 8% is not high. The issue right now is just people who have the 2 or the 3% interest rates. They're not looking to move.
Well, I think you're right, and that's how I feel too. I think a small decrease in interest rates can produce big real estate results and more activity in the market. But it sounds like in the Woodlands, things are just moving along pretty well anyway.
It is, but we need inventory. So
Need
we can
inventory.
sell our buyers.
So if there's somebody out there listening, they want to list their home with you, that's okay, right?
Would love to list your home.
Let's tell people, give them your phone number there right quick, Carolyn.
My phone number is 832-498-7889.
And as far as in the marketing, now you mentioned Compass has some extra tools that they use, that their agents are able to use to help promote listings and things like that. Give us an idea of what you use as an individual in terms of even social media. Do you use social media to promote your work?
I'm trying to be better with my social media. So that's one of the great things about Compass is they give us so much material to put out to help educate our buyers. So I'm really going to spend, my time putting information out there to help people.
As far as the things other than the new homes and things like that, the other thing I hear about in the Woodlands is there's a lot of restaurants, newer restaurants that are coming in, a lot of great existing restaurants, but there's also the food scene up there seems to be people are taking notice of. Tell us about what you see.
It's gotten a lot better over the years. So it used to just be a few couple of restaurants, that people would go to, but we're getting a lot of different restaurants that Houston has. So we got a Boss Cat. We got a 60 Vines.
Well, those are two I may need to have to come up there and eat. I've not been at any of those two.
We had a North Italia. So, yeah, we're getting a lot of great restaurants, which is what we needed up there. So.
Well, give people an idea. You're in the real estate world now for a while. Let's tell people, what was it about real estate that brought you into the fold as a profession?
So I always loved interior design, but I am not a creative or artistic person. So I knew I would not excel in that career, but I always loved the idea of being able to help someone and help them make one of the biggest purchases in their life. And I thought it'd be great to do marketing, and I just decided actually when I was in college that I wanted to get into real estate. So immediately after college, I got into real estate, and I've been doing it full time ever since.
So there you go. You're excited about it.
I am. I love my job.
When you all have meetings up there, I would assume the company has meetings every week or month or so, right?
Every other week.
Every other week. So when they talk about 2024, right? And I guess they do. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that they see as a company that's all over? Certainly, I don't know if they're are they international?
Not yet, but they're all over the United States.
So what are some of the things that they say, I mean, from a meeting that they may have brought up that you could share that's not confidential, but something that's interesting about real estate?
Basically, they're just saying, don't be discouraged by the interest rates right now. Interest rates are going to go up. They're going to go down. They've been doing that
since the beginning of interest rates.
Since the beginning of times. So if you need to buy a house or you want to buy a house, buy a house. If you see a house that you love, buy it, because there's different programs out there. One program right now, which is great, that I was talking to my lender about, is a 2-1 buy down. So you can have the seller, instead of just lowering the price, you could ask the seller to contribute to closing costs, and then you can use that money to buy down your rate. So as an example, say the interest rates today are 8%. You could have the seller buy it down. So your first year, your interest rate would be 6%. Your second year, it would be 7%, and your third year, it would go back up to the 8%. But we're hoping by then you would be able to refinance. So that's a way to get your monthly payment lower, because that's what people are worried about right now, is just the higher monthly mortgage payments because prices have gone up.
We're talking with Carolyn Swan with Compass Real Estate. Carolyn, right now, are you helping, say, more buyers or sellers?
I usually help more buyers. So I love first-time buyers. They're special to me. I love being a part of that process and educating them. And it's a big deal, your first home purchase. So it's special really to be a part of that. And I've had a lot of clients thank me and say, if it wasn't for you educating me and giving me the right lender and whatnot, we wouldn't have been able to have purchased this home.
Before we close the segment, Carolyn, what else do you want people to know?
I love my job, and I love helping clients. It really is my life. So if there's anything I can do to help you guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call, 832-498-7889. 832-498-7889.
Thank you so much, Carolyn Swan.
Thank you.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Stewart Title, we have business development people all over the United States. And right here in the Houston area, we have about 17 or so offices. We have Hope Moy. She's here. She's one of our business development people. Hope, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you today.
And speaking of up north, you're kind of from the up north part of Houston. Let's tell people the offices that you serve.
So I am in Montgomery County. I work out of 2 offices, one being in Magnolia and the other in Conroe.
Just a side note, when we say Montgomery County here on the show, we've said it many times. By the way, there is a Montgomery County right near Washington, D.C. I used to live there. Just saying, yeah, and sometimes it brings up memories. So let's tell people the offices, how's the business up there right now? It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It's growing. There's lots of new construction, lots of new neighborhoods, lots of new stuff coming in. Roads are being built, widened as we speak, down 1488 and 105 actually. So it's a little crazy.
Well, that's a worthy cause right there.
It's growing.
So I had a feeling there was something you wanted to tell people that's upcoming.
Upcoming, we have a zombie crawl.
Okay, what's the zombie crawl?
My co-partner,
Shelley.
Shelley.
We're going to hear from her in a minute, but okay.
Yes, you are. We work together in Montgomery County, and we are actually doing it was Shelley's idea. I cannot take credit for this, but we're going to be in Hughes Landing, and we're going to, jump around and visit some restaurants in costume on Saturday.
And we'll tell people that are not familiar with the Hughes Landing area. That's like on the water, right?
It is on the water. That is.
So if you're listening from out of
Woodlands.
state or something, it's a beautiful area.
Absolutely.
So we have a Stewart Title office there too.
Yes, and Shelley's going to tell you about it.
All right. Well, Hope, let's tell people again. Your two offices are.
My two offices are in Magnolia and Conroe. So you're at 1488 and 2978 for the Magnolia office, and I have 3 escrow officers there. Combined experience, I would say about 100 years. They don't like it when I say that, but I think it speaks volume.
It's certainly notable.
Yes. And Conroe, 336 and 105, also 3 escrow officers. And again, up to about 100 years combined experience.
And I know people want to bring their real estate transactions to you and
Yes,
those locations. How
we
can
can
they reach
close
you?
them all.
Right?
My number is 346-224-1908. 346-224-1908.
Thank you so much, Hope. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Shelley is right here, right now. Shelley Keller with Stewart Title. Shelley, zombie crawl, huh?
Hiya, Bill. Yeah.
They say it was your idea?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I stole it from a couple of years ago. A girlfriend of mine invited me to a zombie crawl up in Fort Collins, and I just had such an amazing time, and Facebook thankfully gave me that friendly reminder with pictures and memories. So I thought, hey, why don't I try to recreate that for our community down here in Montgomery County?
Well, to me, it sounds like the moral of the story is stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. Not only are they doing fun events like the crawl, restaurant visiting, things like that, but you're also doing instructional things to help the real estate professional that's listening out there.
Yes, I'm extremely excited. I have a bunch of things planned that are coming up, especially for the first quarter of next year. We've got a lot of commercial CE and instructors coming in, and I've even gotten some instructors for land and mineral rights. So I realize that's not exactly really prevalent in the Woodlands. However, I do also cover the Willis and Walker County market, so that'll be extremely helpful for a lot of the agents that are venturing out into land and ranch kind of contracts.
Sounds incredible.
It's very
Seriously,
exciting.
after talking to everybody here, you, Hope, and our guest, I really want to go to the Woodlands. I need to get up there and visit some of the restaurants and, see some of the water.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to have you come out. I mean, you spend a lot of time with some of our other agent friends.
That's right. Well, invite. All it takes is an invitation.
Well, you're officially invited.
All right.
I mean, feel free to text me. You always have a
good.
seat next to me.
Well, that sounds awesome. Shelley, people want to bring their transactions to you as well. How can they reach you?
You can reach me at 346-831-4312. That's 346-831-4312.
For sure, I want to see pictures of the zombie crawl. Please send them. Sounds fun. Thank you so much, Shelley Keller.
Thank you.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827, stewartinsurance.com. That's stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is once again with Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett. John, well, here we are once again.
Howdy, Bill.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Last week, people have been waiting ever since you were on last week. They were saying John had a several-part series that he's talking about, and now they can finally hear what you're going to say this week.
Yeah, so as a reminder, this month is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And the Travelers has conducted over the last 10 years a annual risk index study where they talked to 1,200 business decision makers and influencers about different issues and in and around the cyber world. So last week we talked a little bit about the overall business risk concerns and some cyber concerns and victimization. And this week wanted to wrap up the discussion around cyber preparedness and then cyber insurance itself.
Let's go.
So one of the things that's key about cyber preparedness, and it's really, I guess you could take it in anything in life, is more proactive you are, the better you have a chance of reducing risks. So from a cyber perspective, the more proactive you are in the cautions that you take and the preventative measures that you establish, the better chance you have of minimizing a chance of a cyber activity. Unfortunately, the study shows that most companies don't take those steps, or they don't take significant amount of steps in order to minimize their risks, that they feel like what they've done is enough, and they tend to be overly confident. And then unfortunately, when that happens, we've got an issue, and you suddenly have a claim or incident that could significantly not only affect your clients, but significantly affect your business. So what we've seen is the studies show that most companies have not implemented any kind of basic protective measures. So 25% haven't even done a firewall or data backup or password updates or virus protections. 64% don't have an endpoint detection response. So that's a way to monitor your network so that you can get a warning of a potential issue before it truly does hit the network. And that's something that the companies need to take a look at. 50% don't have an incident response plan. So if something does happen, what am I going to do? What are the steps that I'm going to take? And we don't see that. 65% don't have a post-breach team or retainer. And this is especially critical for larger firms, that you ought to have somebody in place that if something happens, you can step in and minimize that damage as quickly as possible versus trying to figure out how am I going to take care of this after the fact. So having that response team or that support team can truly be helpful. And then the other one that's really disappointing is that 44% don't have any type of multi-factor authentication. So simply the ability to have two or more stops along the way to make sure that whoever's trying to access data or send an email or get into your system, at least they have to be able to prove who they are a couple of different ways. Microsoft did a study, and they believe that 99% of the cyber threats could be minimized or even stopped simply by having multi-factor authentication. So there are things that can be done to prevent. It's just a matter, are you willing to take the steps?
That's very interesting. One of the things you said prior to that is that having protocols in place for anything, even as simple as our homes, to have a fire drill, you have to know. You don't want to wait till something happens. In the case of the cyber threats or a cyber incident, you don't want to wait till something happens to say, oh, what should we do now? You want to have something that you could actually anticipate and practice, so to speak, and say, okay, let's just pretend something happened. This is what we're going to do. So that way it's in your company's protocols to say, here we go, and then maybe prevent further damage or even the initial strike.
Well, and I think that's a perfect analogy would be, a home fire drill where we know this is what we're going to do if something were to happen, and then to actually practice it. And the same thing would happen with having those protocols with your firm. If we do face a cyber incident, how are we going to address it, and what are the steps we're going to take so that everybody in the firm is aware of that? So that, again, you minimize whatever those potential damages are.
That's right. And at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, within our company, we have so many firewalls. And also, they also test us, the associates within our companies, that I've never been with a company that they will test us to see how we respond to certain potential attacks. And I think that's very, very good. And that helps not just us, but it helps the people we serve.
Absolutely. And the other way that you can be prepared is to make sure that you have cyber coverage. And again, it's a bit like the preparedness. 74% of the business owners that they interviewed said, yes, they see cyber insurance as a critical tool to have. Unfortunately, not everybody has bought into the coverage. Of the folks that they studied, 68% of the small companies are without cyber coverage. 26% of the midsize and 28% of the large companies are without coverage. And if you look at the industries that they talk to that are most relevant for us and for our listeners. Within the real estate world, 53% of the real estate firms don't have cyber coverage. Professional services, 38% didn't have coverage. Banking, 26% didn't have coverage, and construction, 52% didn't have coverage. So those are concerning numbers that the industry that we're in and the amount of data that we touch and the information that we have about our clients that's private and privileged is really scary. And then when you throw in the title aspect and now you have a transfer of funds, or you throw in property management where maybe you've got an escrow account where you're managing, you're collecting rents, and you've got a fund available to go and do minor repairs, and you start looking at those financial transactions and people are leaving themselves vulnerable to a cyber attack, that's pretty scary.
There's no doubt about it. What are some of the other things we should know, John?
Well, just understanding what cyber insurance can do for you. It can help you if there is a data breach. It can help you recover if you've got some lost income. If you've got an assets that have been damaged or taken, you've got a chance to get those recovered. If you've got to repair your computer system, that cyber coverage can help with that. If you've lost data, it can help with the recovery of the data. Or if you've got to notify clients that, hey, this has happened, I've got to make sure that you're aware of what's happening. Your cyber coverage can help with some of those costs.
And John, how can people reach you at Stewart Insurance?
They can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can learn about all the different types of coverages we provide, both cyber, business, as well as personal at stewartinsurance.com, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
Someone might be listening in the Woodlands right now. They want to have home insurance from Stewart Insurance.
Well, we have a special Woodlands and Montgomery County hotline, and it's 866-798-2827.
In addition, helping people that lease. Sometimes people that are leasing forget to get insurance.
Absolutely. So we can work with tenants on their renter's insurance, and then those that have the investment property, we can work with them on their dwelling fire or investment property coverage.
The number again is?
866-798-2827.
That's one of the favorite parts of the show. People just want to hear that number, don't they?
Well, it is a top dialing number in the greater Houston area.
It is. Thank you so much, John Bramlett.
You're welcome, sir.
And now let's talk to Taylor Sarton. The company is Home Sweet Home. Hey, Taylor, welcome back.
Hi, Bill. Back and better than ever.
Well, that's awesome. So here we are. Let's tell people as we wind up the show, what else you want them to know about what you're doing at Home Sweet Home.
Honestly, I'm just trying to get out there. I've been going to a lot of events in Montgomery County lately. We always have different events depending on the holiday seasons and whatnot.
There's a couple holidays coming up, too.
There's a lot of holidays coming up. We have trunk or treats happening and all different types of things. And you have
Truck or treats?
Trunk or treat.
Oh, trunk or treats. Okay.
So people decorate their trunks and they give out candy and their business cards or whatever. So we have a lot of that type of stuff coming up, and you can catch me at those.
That sounds awesome. Taylor Sarton, how can people reach you?
You can reach me at 713-302-9764. And once again, that's 713-302-9764.
And that's in case they want to reach out to you for your real estate needs, right?
Real estate needs, anything. Call me.
And a lot of people just want to call someone named Taylor, right?
Right.
The number again is?
713-302-9764.
Thank you so much. Taylor, Dina Fisk is back. The company is Texas United Realty. Dina, welcome back to the show.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
And as we wind things up, what else do you want people to know?
I want you to know that I am here to help with the veterans' needs, education, and anyone looking to sell, lease, invest, buy. You can contact me at 832-343-0758 for any of your real estate needs. And December 13th, we're having another seminar, Real Estate for Veterans, and call me 832-343-0758.
And a special word for veterans, make sure you know that you have extra benefits. Make sure you know what they are and that you use them when it comes time for real estate or anything else, right?
Yes, and make sure you're talking to an expert.
The number again is?
832-343-0758.
Dina Fisk. Thank you, Dina, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Carolyn Swan is here from Compass. Carolyn, welcome back. It looks like you and me to land this plane.
Yay. I'm excited.
It's
Thank you.
exciting. Here we are. Just picture, here we are in the helicopter going back to the Woodlands, landing at Hughes Landing. How nice that would be, and hitting a super restaurant. But in the meantime, what else do you want people to know? Carolyn.
I'd like people to know that I have lived in the Woodlands since 2002. I grew up there. My family's there. So if anyone has any questions in regards to the area, I would love to talk to you guys. And I work with the best people, Stewart Title. I love my lender, Kelsey. So any questions for a lender, title company, we're all here and happy to help you.
Well, it also sounds like being in the Woodlands there for so long, you probably know the areas, the different streets and the developments, how it used to be and all this stuff.
I do. We're made up of villages, so we have different villages that make up the Woodlands. And yeah, I know all the different neighborhoods and restaurants and areas.
Okay, I understand that you, and of course this is recorded, so no one can ever find you there, but you and our business development officer are going to be having lunch at a good restaurant up there in the Woodlands. Do you happen to know the name of the restaurant?
We are actually going to go to a restaurant down in Houston. Try somewhere new.
Forget the Woodlands. All right. You threw me a curve there. But in the meantime, there's a restaurant called Zanti, I think it's called.
Yes, that's in the Woodlands.
It's
Italian.
in the Woodlands, but there's one in the River Oaks area, and the cheese ravioli is incredible.
Oh, okay. Shelly and I will have to go to Zanti and try that.
It is incredible. Well, thank you so much, Carolyn. Once again, let's tell people the number if they want to reach out to you, Carolyn Swan.
That would be 832-498-7889.
Thank you, Carolyn, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett, and all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, our business development people, all of us, not just here in Houston, but around the United States. And oh yeah, we're an international company celebrating our 130th birthday this month here in October. That's right, 130 years. We're here to serve you all these many years and many years ahead. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's where you can hear and see all the shows by going to stewart.com/radio. We'll see you next week. And until then, thanks for listening.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.